What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and we're here to do an update on AFC Asian 2022 World Cup qualifiers. And we have 6 games to go through, 2 groups A and B, and we have another team who have qualified for the World Cup, and that's South Korea or Korea Republic. So let's give them a round of applause. They joined Iran and the host Qatar as the teams from Asia already at the World Cup. So South Korea could start booking their hotel, getting logistics ready. Same for Iran. So look, we do still have 2 more teams to join them directly, and the potential for a third in the 4th round and the Interconfederation playoff. They would meet a team from South America. It's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough. Could Asia see 6 teams at the World Cup, or would we just see 5? It's left to be seen. Definitely left to be seen. So we have results. I actually let me find my book so I could see how many of these I got right, because I did make predictions, and I think I was pretty spot on with most of my predictions though. So look, Japan, they beat Saudi Arabia 2-0. I didn't have enough balls to actually predict that, so I did predict a 1-1 draw. So very good on Japan for getting their revenge after losing 1-0 in the first game, and for really making things interesting in Group B. We'll talk some more about that a bit later. Vietnam 3, China 1. I actually predicted a draw for this game. I said that Vietnam are going to get something from this match, their first point, and they did much better, and they picked up all 3, their first win in the final round of AFC Asian qualifiers. First ever win. So even though they're eliminated, they take China down with them. So China are out, Vietnam are out, and we will get into that game as well. So Lebanon 1, Iraq 1. I did get that prediction right, where I predicted a 1-1 draw. So I do feel good about that. Where's the feather? Where's the feathers? Let me stick one in my cap right now. So, yeah, didn't think these teams would separate themselves from each other. And that's a clash that was quite feisty, but ended in a 1-1 draw. And it doesn't help the cause for both teams in terms of getting that 3rd place spot in the group. Syria 0, Korea Republic 2. My prediction for that game, Syria 0, Korea Republic 2. So another quality prediction there in the Group A match, and I feel good. But this one I didn't get right. Iran 1, the UAE 0. The UAE could have gotten something from this game, but they were they were unimaginative. They were really toothless in the match, and even though Iran, who are already qualified, got reduced to 10 men when Moharami was sent off, look, UAE still didn't really trouble them too much. Iran was still the dominant team, so we'll get to that very soon as well. So that's a 1-0 win for Iran. I actually thought Iran would have played a weaker 11, but they didn't. And the big one, this is a big one though. Oman 2, Australia 2. I think Australia really dropped the ball here. I predicted a 2-1 win, and it was looking like it was going to end in a 2-1 win, you know. But then Aussies give away a penalty, and the rest is history, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know, man. Australia, you put yourself in this very position. Playoffs! Anyways, guys, after those results, this is what the tables looks like right now. And I said tables, right? That was a mistake, but I am right. Sometimes you make a mistake and you end up being right. You see that? Tables. 2 tables. So in Group A, Iran are still on top with 22 points. They have qualified. Korea Republic are on 20 points. They have qualified. And we have the UAE on 9 points. They are 3rd, but they are not home and dry in terms of 3rd, because Lebanon are closing in. 2 matches left. Iraq are closing in as well. Well, Iraq could still get 11 points. Lebanon could still get 12 points. And the UAE, it's not guaranteed that they will win their remaining matches. So it'll be crazy if one of those teams surpass them. As for Syria, they are officially eliminated from World Cup qualifiers. So hard luck to Syria, who did pretty good in the last World Cup campaign. So qualifiers campaign, I should say. So we move into Group B, where Saudi Arabia are on top of the group still, even with their first loss. 19 points. Japan closing within 1 point of Saudi Arabia. 18 points with that win. Well done by Japan after bouncing back after those 2 losses to Oman and Saudi Arabia. Early on, Australia, however, let me say this, man. Australia effed up big time. They should have gotten 3 points against Oman and would have been level with Japan right now. Well, they would have been 17 points right now. Okay? Australia are putting themselves in a very bad position to go into the playoffs again. They love it. They love it. It's not ideal, but it seems like they love to do it the hard way, man. Big up to any Aussie fans watching this right now. If you are an Australian fan, just, drop a couple Australian flags in the chat there. Look, Oman, they're out. They're out. Officially out because they could only get a maximum of 14 points. And they are officially eliminated from World Cup qualifiers. So are China with 5 points and Vietnam with 3. So the only teams from Asia still in contention for a World Cup spot: Australia, Japan, Saudi Arabia. 2 spots still up for grabs, first and second direct spots. It's going to be between Australia, Japan, and Saudi Arabia. But the thing about Australia, they do have Japan and Saudi Arabia to play in March, which is not the ideal situation. They might end up losing both of those games. You see what I'm saying? And the top 2 would be determined, and Japan and Saudi Arabia would qualify. Like right now, it's not looking like Australia going to qualify, guys. Directly. I know. Directly. But look, 15 points. Even they have to win both the games. They got to win both the games because I don't think Saudi Arabia would pick up 0 points next month. You see what I'm saying? But look, we'll get into permutations. We'll definitely get into permutations. Let's go back up and let's talk about the games. You know what I mean? I do want to get into the permutations, so that's why I'm, So let's start, man. Let's start. Japan 2, Saudi Arabia 0. Like, I am not surprised by this result at all. I predicted a draw. I cautiously predicted a draw. That was a cautious prediction. If anything, it wasn't that I was afraid to really predict Japan to win, but it was cautious. But Saudi Arabia, in their previous match against Oman, they showed signs. They really showed signs, and they were toothless in this match, man. Japan were all over. When I say all over Saudi Arabia, they were all over Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia had a lot of the ball, 60%, but in terms of the attacking third and the attacking play, not good enough, man. 5 shots, 2 on target. Japanese goalkeeper hardly tested. Gonda could have actually pulled out his newspaper for large amounts of time in the game and just chill. You see what I'm saying? Read some comic book or something. So look, for Japan, Takumi Minamino in the 31st minute, man. Jonya Ito, what a player. What a freaking player. I think he's on the books of Manchester City as well. Don't know if we actually sold him on fully yet. But I know Jonya Ito and Ko Itakura, who are both part of the 11, were on City's books. I think they still are. Jonya Ito is a serious player, man. And it just shows Man City's high standards because look at how well Jonya Ito is playing for the Japanese team. Tell me he'll stand a chance to get into City's squad. Not even. You see what I'm saying? So, Pep Guardiola and his high standards, though. I would love to see him at City, just to be a squad player. That would be awesome. That would be good for diversity as well. Broaden the fan base. But he was damn good to run in behind the pace. Tee up Minamino. Good goal. 31st minute. Even though it did hit the defender and the keeper before he went in. Good goal by Minamino and Jonya Ito. What a strike. Oh my God. What a strike in the 50th minute to knock off Saudi Arabia, who, as I said, were very, very toothless throughout the match, man. So, quality performance by Japan. Hajime Moriyasu would be a happy man, as they put some daylight between themselves and Australia, and they still do have Australia to play. So all Japan needs to do, just beat Australia, and they will qualify for the World Cup indeed. But for Saudi Arabia, man, not a very good performance in those last two matches. They barely got past Oman, and they never showed up against Japan. Look, I think they will still qualify. I think Saudi Arabia will still qualify, seeing that they do have China to play next. You see what I'm saying? They should beat China, and that would be the ticket to Qatar. Definitely. I think they travel to China. They will beat China. And let me make sure that game is being played in China right now. Well, no destination is actually announced yet for this game, but let's see if it is in China or it's somewhere in the Middle East, maybe in the UAE, because China and their lockdown laws and things like that, though. But let's see. Let us see. The game between China and Australia back in November was played in the UAE. See exactly what I'm telling you? So China very, very strict in terms of their COVID laws and things like that. So look, as I was mentioning, for Saudi Arabia, they have China and Australia. All they need to do is to beat China. That's it. Doesn't matter what they get against Australia. They just need to beat them. Beat China. They could lose to Australia if they want, because guess what? If they beat China and go up to 22 points, that means Australia will go up to 18 points. Right? If Australia, well, let me go again. If they beat China and go up to 22 points, right? Australia, let me rephrase that. Australia would only be able to get a maximum of 21 points anyways. So it doesn't matter if they lose to Australia. It doesn't matter if Australia win against Japan or win against Saudi Arabia. That's not Saudi Arabia's business. All that Saudi Arabia needs to do is to defeat China. All right, sorry for the little confusion there. But defeat China and you're good. That's it. For Australia, we'll talk about them soon. But for Japan, they have put themselves in a really good position to qualify as well, because even though they have Australia to play, if they lose against Australia, they do have Vietnam. I think they'll beat Vietnam and go up to 21 points. So with Australia only being able to get a maximum of 21 points, and right now they got a good goal difference. Australia would then need to beat both Japan and Saudi Arabia, and that's not. I honestly don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. So Saudi 0, Japan 2, and it makes Group B very, very interesting, to say the least. So congrats to Japan on getting closer to qualifying for the World Cup. Saudi Arabia as well, even though they lost the game. So we're going to move on to the next game, and that's Vietnam 3, China 1. You got to give it to this Vietnam team, man. Let's take some time, and let's give Vietnam a round of applause. Quality performance, man. And they have been teasing, They have definitely been teasing. I'm not going to say that they have been teasing, right? Because, look, even though they got brushed aside by Australia in the last game, the previous match against China was a 3-2 thriller in favor of China, right? So, they barely lost against Saudi Arabia. They barely lost against Japan in November. So, they have been showing signs, right? There was a thriller between them and the UAE back in the second round as well. So, look, they did well enough to get to the final round, and they're showing promise by beating China, their neighbors China too. So that would have been very, very, good for them. That would have felt good. I see the manager Park Hang-seo, the way he was celebrating, is like he had just qualified for the World Cup. You would never know that Vietnam were eliminated the way Park Hang-seo was celebrating. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. South Korean manager there doing a pretty good job over at Vietnam, and I hope they stick with him, and he could look to take the team into the 2026 World Cup. Look, for China, who got rid of their manager recently, Li Tae, and they have appointed Li Xiaopeng, and he hasn't been doing a good job either, so he might get sacked. Never know. He might get sacked pretty soon. So, in this game, for Vietnam, Ho Tang Tai in the 9th minute, Wen Tien Lin in the 16th minute, and a third goal by Phan Van Duc in the 76th minute. Some very good goals as well. The goals were top notch. And the Chinese goal scored by Zhu Jing in the 97th minute was a top notch goal. I think it was the best goal of the game, where he pulled out the karate kick there for that volley. 3-1 to Vietnam. And look, it's a disappointing performance in the World Cup qualifiers by China, who had high hopes and crazy ambitions of dominating world football by bringing the Chinese Super League and paying these players some ridiculous amount of monies, and then it never worked. It never worked. It's just sad. It is just sad what happened to this Chinese Super League thing, though. So that, it's just sad, man. You know what I mean? So look, congratulations to Vietnam on picking up that win, and let's see what they could do in the future. So we're gonna keep it moving, though. Both those teams have been eliminated, so don't need to talk about them too much, but they could be potential banana peels over in Group B for the teams still trying to qualify. So we move into the final Group B match, and that's Oman 2, Australia 2. I gotta say, I am so disappointed in this performance by Australia, because they were cruising. This game, they were cruising. Jamie McLaren with the penalty in the 15th minute, and they were cruising 1-0 up until the 54th, until Abdallah Fawaz scored in the 54th minute. Good goal, quality goal, and it basically caught Australia by surprise. But look, the Aussies fought back on the road to pull one back. Good team goal by Aaron Moy. And I'm saying to myself, all right, the Australians are now going to settle down and just, go into game management mode and don't do anything silly. And then, of course, the penalty given away in the 89th minute. It was indeed a penalty. Very cheeky stuff by the Omani player to set up that goal, and to set up the whole play where the player was brought down. The Australian player wasn't actually paying attention to what was going on, and a bit too complacent in the box, if you ask me. So look, Australia got everything they deserved in this game. Didn't kill off the game, in my opinion, and that's what they needed to do. But this Omani team was showing promise from the game before against Saudi Arabia, and they have now played sport to Australia by picking points off them, because Australia would have gone up to 17 points, and it would have looked like a 3-horse race for those 2 spots. It's still a 3-horse race for the 2 spots, but a closer one going into the final 2 match days in March. And look, they missed the trick big time, but you got to give it to Abdullah Fawaz. First goal, peach of a goal, and a quality penalty to send the goalkeeper Matt Ryan the other way. And look, man, Australia, I have to say, you guys are doomed to the playoffs again, man. Australia did make it via the playoffs in the last World Cup and have done so on many occasions, but look, that's not the way you want to qualify. That's not the way you want to qualify. You want to book your place directly like South Korea and Iran, and you don't have any headaches. You don't have to play extra games. You know what I'm saying? That's what, 3 extra games if they are to qualify. The 2 in the 4th round. I think the 4th round has 2 games, right? I think it does. And the Interconfederation playoff have now been reduced to just a one-off game. So, yeah, got a lot of time, man. Got a lot more games to play if you are to qualify for the World Cup. But look, The Aussies love to do it the hard way, so let's see if they'll be able to do so once again. So look, now we've done with Group A. Let's just take a look at the, as I said, the permutations in Group B, pardon me. Let's take a look at the permutations. Well, as I mentioned earlier, for Saudi Arabia, all they need is one win. One win will be good enough for Saudi Arabia to qualify for the World Cup. So let's just put that one right there. For Japan, who play Vietnam, a win would be good. And they play Australia, they need something from that game as well. If Australia doesn't get something from the Saudi Arabia match. So Australia do play Saudi Arabia last. So yeah, Japan need to get something from the Australia game. They don't want to wait until the Saudi Arabia game for, you know what I mean, to see if Australia drop points there. Australia can't afford to drop any more points. Just plain and simple. Cannot afford to drop any more points. If they drop any more points, they would actually, yeah, they can't. Because right now, they're on 15 points, and if they drop, look, they can't afford to drop any more points. Let's just put it that way. That's the situation with Australia. So Japan, they would need to, at 4 points, Japan needs. Australia needs to win everything and hope, well, if they do win everything, it means that both Saudi Arabia and Japan would drop 3 points in those games. And that is still not guaranteed a place for Australia, because let's say Japan play against Vietnam and completely destroy them and their goal difference ends up being better than Australia, then you know what it is. It's Japan that goes through. Right now, it looks as if it's Saudi Arabia and Japan, and Australia will go into the playoffs. So we're going to leave that one right there, and we're going to continue. Let's talk about Group A. We're not going to spend too long on Group A because the teams have been already verified to qualify for the World Cup in Iran and South Korea. So let's just talk about these results. So Lebanon won, Iraq won. Expected. Expected. Let me just say that. Expected. It was a hardly fought game, I gotta say. Both teams really were resilient on the day. But I think Iraq did well enough that they should have won this game. So in this match, Ayman Hussein in the 39th minute, and then Maha Sabra in the 45th, 1-1 draw. 16 shots at goal for Iraq, 3 on target. 11 on goal for Lebanon, 5 on target. A 55-45% split in possession in favor of Lebanon. So, look, very even contest. Could have went either way, but I think Iraq actually were the better team in this match, if you ask me. But Lebanon at home, the Cedars, they held firm, and they kept themselves within, you know, a couple points away from the UAE and still a chance to qualify for the World Cup. So, look, for them, the situation is very easy, right? They must win. They must win their next game and draw the other if they are, or win both. 2 wins would be very good for them. They play Syria next, and look, Syria eliminated already. For Lebanon, that's a winnable game. That is indeed a winnable game. They did beat Syria 3-2 in the last game, so they could look to do the double, go up to 9 points. But the thing about the whole problem is they have Iran to play last. But if they do have 9 points, if they do pick up 9 points, still will give them a shout, where Iraq play the UAE, and Iraq needs points as well, and then the UAE plays South Korea. So we could see a situation where the UAE doesn't even get any points in their next 2 games, right? So for Lebanon, look, at least win 1 game. At least win the game against Syria to give yourself a chance, because the UAE are not guaranteed to pick up any points in their next 2 games at all. As for Iraq, situation is even better for them because they play against the UAE. So it means if they beat the UAE, they would prevent them from picking up points, of course. And then they have Syria. So 2 wins. 2 wins for Iraq could give them a chance to make their second ever appearance at the FIFA World Cup. For the UAE, they have Iraq and South Korea, there's a situation they could lose the games. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But look, let's move on to the next game. Korea Republic 2, Syria 0. And that's a road match for Korea Republic. Very, very good performance, man. Very good performance. Quality stuff by South Korea. And they have booked themselves a place at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Kim Jin-soo with a brilliant goal. What a header, man. God dang. That was good. And Kwang Chan-hoon with a 71st minute goal. Quality stuff by South Korea. Look, Syria, very toothless on the day. Did get a few look-ins, but never tested the goalkeeper. 5 shots on goal, none on target. They only had 32% of the ball. For South Korea, 14 shots at goal, 5 on target, 68% of the ball. These dudes were playing without Han Ming-sun and Hwang Hee-chan. So it just shows how much quality this team got in their ranks, man. You know what I'm saying? Very, very quality team, man. And there's a few prominent players that they didn't call up as well. So, you know, look, this team, one to watch. We know how good they are. We know how good they have been at World Cups and everything. Kim Min-jae, another quality performance by him as well. They have some really good players. They got some really, really good players. A lot of Kims in the team, but you know, but they got a lot of good players, man. You know what I mean? So look for South Korea at the 2022 World Cup. And they do call themselves the Tigers of Asia these days, where they have changed their badge from the whole Taeguk Warriors thing to the Tigers of Asia. I think they always had a tiger thing, right? Yeah, they always had a tiger, but they have changed their badge though. But they are still the Taeguk Warriors. Let's just keep it light. But, you know, the Tigers of Asia. So they have joined Qatar, Germany, Denmark, Brazil, France, Belgium, Croatia. I almost said Korea. Croatia, Spain, Serbia, England, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Argentina, and Iran as the teams qualifying for the World Cup. And look, that is 10 straight World Cup qualifications. The first qualified in 1954, but since the 1986 World Cup hosted by Mexico, they have qualified for every single one, including the one they hosted, well, co-hosted with Japan back in 2002, where they came in 4th. Yeah, very rigged World Cup, but still, they did play well nevertheless, for the most part. But look, South Korea, man, you know what I mean? Look. Last World Cup, they did well. They did well, as you know. And they're going to look to pull off a couple upsets as well at the World Cup in Qatar. And yeah, who knows? I don't think they'll come in 4th again. But you never know, man. You never know. You never know. Let's see. Let us see. So all the best to South Korea. All the best to them. And let's see how they fare in 2022. All right. Just to refresh you on how they did. They were able to beat Germany, and that was the highlight of their 2022 World Cup. 2018 World Cup, pardon me, they did lose 2 games, but them and Germany were knocked out. But what they did was took Germany out with them, basically. You know, so Son and Kim Young-gwan with the goals in that game, and both goals came in extra time. So that was a memorable game. So congratulations to Korea Republic, Paulo Bento and his team, back at the World Cup. And that was indeed a quality performance against Syria to seal their place. So we're going to keep it moving though. Iran won, the UAE 0. And in this game we had Mehdi Taremi putting in a rebound. And that goal came in the 44th minute. And then Sadegh Moharami getting sent off in the 49th minute. Overzealous attempt to win back the ball after a bad touch. Straight red. UAE still not able to get an equalizer. Iran with 13 shots on goal, 5 on target, only 39% of the ball. The UAE dominated possession with 61%, 11 shots, 4 on target. But look, goalkeeper Abedzadeh wasn't really tested that much. But I have to say that Iran, very, very wasteful, man. Very, very wasteful. Very goal is a day, very, very wasteful on the day. A lot of chances, Mediterranean chances, Jahan Bash chances. They put out a stronger team than I expected. I thought they were going to rotate, but they really put out a strong team. Vaheda Mary, Saman Godos. They had Taremi, Jahan Bash, Golizade. They are missing, of course, Sada Azmoun, and still being able to pull things off without him shows how deep this team is and the squad is. One thing I noticed is that there's been a new goalkeeper, you know what I mean, being used in these qualifiers, and seems like the hero goalkeeper. I'm even, what's his name? I'm even spacing on his name. That's how long he hasn't really been involved in the Iranian lineup. Alireza Beranvand. Iranian fans, what is going on with Alireza Beranvand? How come he's not the number one goalkeeper for Iran anymore? I find that very strange, because he was so good at the 2018 World Cup, and now Abedzadeh is now the number one man. I find it very strange, though. Well, let us see, though. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. But very, very good job by Iran. And look, the World Cup qualifying, it didn't look good at all under Mark Wilmots. They had to get rid of him. Coronavirus happened, and I think that was a blessing in disguise. Brought in Dragan Skokic, and the boy Skokic has done the business. So big up to the Croatian Dragan Skokic doing the business and taking Iran to yet another World Cup. He could be a future Croatian manager as well. He's only 53 years old, guys. So congrats to Iran. Very good bounce back after a horrible second round, and coming into the third round with an immaculate showing. So congratulations to Iran. I made a separate video already congratulating them, so go check that one out. And look, we have any more games? Group A, Lebanon. I think that's it. Lebanon, Iraq, we spoke about. Syria, Korea Republic, and Iran versus UAE. Wow. Having a bit too much fun there. But look, in terms of the permutations in this group and what's, actually left, and let's go back to Group A. Iran, South Korea qualifying. Those teams are through. I spoke about the permutations and who's going to get third. And yeah, not much more to actually talk about. So it's between the UAE, Lebanon, and Iraq for that third place spot to go into the fourth round to play Australia. It's gonna be Australia, and Australia are gonna be the favorites to actually come through and go on to the Interconfederation playoff to maybe play Chile, maybe play Peru, or who knows, Uruguay. Yeah, I think those are the options right about now. So look, guys, that has been my thoughts on the AFC Match Day 8 fixtures, the results, and talking about the permutations. Congrats to Korea Republic. 2 spots sealed. 2 more left to be sealed, and that'll happen in March. And there's also the playoff as well that we got to look forward to. That'll come in June, I think, So, lot more stuff, lot more World Cup qualifying content to come. We got a preview next month. I might actually do an early preview. I might actually do that. Look for that. I might do that. That might be something strategic that I'll do. And I'll probably do it for all the confederations. Do it early, get them out. But let's see. I don't know. Let's see. But guys, it's been fun talking AFC Asian 2022 World Cup qualifiers with you. I'm your boy Dominic Rich. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Almost at 50K. Thanks to all the people who have dedicated their time to watching the video and subscribing and all that good stuff. So thanks a lot for watching another one. Subscribe if you're new. Congrats to all the teams that have qualified. Best of luck to the team still in the hunt. And from your boy Dominic Rich, until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.